Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Tri-County Logging. Experienced in sustainable forestry practices, Tri-County Logging can help you manage your property by keeping your woods healthy and generate income. Serving southern and mid-Michigan for nearly 50 years, TriCountyLogging.com.
Hi everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Silik and we've got a great show lined up for you this week. I'll take you out on the Manistee River chasing after some winter steelhead. We had one of those banner days, you won't want to miss that story. And Jimmy and Jordan are focusing on pike this week.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a couple different pike stories for you on this week's show. Jordan Brown was recently down in southern Michigan doing a little pike spearing. That is always a fun thing to see and really hard to tape too, by the way. And then a few weeks back, we did some pike fishing with tip-ups with some buddies of mine from the Ludington area. They finally got enough pike to do a pickled pike recipe, so we're going to show you what that process is all about. Lots of brand new stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988. Offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By RBM Jigs, a Michigan-based company serving ice fishing anglers around the state and throughout the country. Specializing in ice fishing gear, RBM Jigs manufactures tungsten jigs, soft plastics, and much more. Online at lakeeffectlures.com. By AnglerQuest Pontoons. AnglerQuest is a Michigan-based company building boats designed for comfort and fishing functionality. For more information about the 2022 models, anglerquestpontoons.com. By Polarcraft Boats, offering riveted and welded boats for the outdoor enthusiast. Whether you're targeting fish or waterfowl, Polarcraft Boats have several models to choose from that keep you high and dry. For more information, polarcraft.com.
Well, the fish are pretty much in here all winter time. You know, they come in the fall and they're staging in the river all winter, just coming in here to getting ready to spawn in the spring. And it's pretty much a general routine for them every year. You know, steelhead come in and winter. A lot of these steelhead will winter all winter here. So, but
They're just eating in here?
yeah, well, yeah, they're feeding eggs and bugs, whatever they can get, worms. But yeah, I think it's a water temperature thing. They like it. Getting ready to spawn, you know, and they're going to be more coming in throughout the spring. They come in, of course, there's a lot still in Lake Michigan and the inland lake ready to come in yet. So fish all winter. We'll fish in the fall, starting in the steelhead, usually October, catch steelhead all the way through and through in May. It's a long season on them, so it's a great fishery. And yeah, it's and then of course I go into Lake Michigan starting usually around May and start fishing the big water for salmon and trout. And fish, you know, all summer for the trout and salmon.
This one.
Trevor!
Wow, this thing's going right at us quick here.
Alright, we're not skunked.
Not skunked. Nice one. Oh.
Trevor, sure.
Look at that.
Pretty guy. Look at that.
Oh,
beautiful. Nice fish. Just come out. Well, been in here a little bit.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Wow, nice. Beaut. So this is on your own stuff here?
Yep, jigging. Then I run jig with a spawn bag. Not this far down the river. Just wanted to make sure I was ready for the day. I mean, you never know when you get down this far in the river system. It hasn't been frozen over as of last week, so you never know what these fish are going to be after. So yeah, I brought jigs, tied up my own spawn bags, and then I also brought beads. Beads have been doing the best. We did get one on spawn, but beads have been really hitting fish today. So I make the jigs from scratch. I buy the hooks as jig hooks, and then I do them all myself and make them all up. The beads, I buy the beads as clear beads, and then I paint them up myself to get the best paint job on them.
Using homemade gear always seems to add to the fun of catching fish. Matt hooked the next one using one of Trevor's beads, and the fight was on. It was hooked under the mouth, which Captain Paul says happens occasionally when fishing beads.
From when you use beads, a lot of times they get hooked right in the side of the head or underneath the head because they're grabbing the bead, not the hook. So the hook is behind the bead a couple inches, and sometimes the fish gets hooked goofy because of that. Or when Trevor got the one before that, it's right, they're grabbing the hook and the spawn, and beads you run different.
I'll walk right up to you.
Beautiful.
Sweet. Beautiful.
Nice job.
Wow.
Get out of there. It's all wrapped up.
Oh, the colors are amazing. Oh, wow.
That's a nice steelhead.
Gorgeous.
It's a beauty.
Nice job hauling that in. Captain Paul loves being out here on the water and has been helping folks catch fish in the Manistee area for as long as he can remember.
Long time, since I've been a kid. So I've been a guide since '83. So started in '83. Started young and grew up in the right place. Grew right up in Manistee. So my dad had a motel and grew up there. So fortunate enough to do that. I've always been infatuated with fishing since a little kid. My parents always said I was crazed with it. And then I just got into the business, and a lot of my best friends are people that fish with me, and chartered me and become really good friends with them and meet a lot of good people in the business. It's been fortunate enough to have that opportunity. I mean, it's the thrill of trying to get one to bite and finding them, and there's a certain thrill to it. They can be a really hard fish to catch, and some days it's hard. I mean, it can be tough, and other days like today, it's been pretty easy.
Boy, the colors on these things are amazing, aren't
Wow.
they?
Get my suit all slimed up. Nice girl.
Oh, man. Just gorgeous fish.
Let her go back and spawn.
Nice work. So is there one thing in particular you guys are getting them on today?
It's been all different. We just got one on one of Trevor's chartreuse beads, like a greenish chartreuse or whatever you want to call it. What do you call it?
That's pretty
You don't
much
have a name
it.
for it, but there she goes.
Picking away at them
Awesome,
today.
yeah.
Pretty
Had
decent day.
6 on or whatever so far, and 5 on.
You're the boat.
Yeah.
Cool. And the day is young.
The water level here on the river had dropped quite a bit recently, and Paul says water levels and the time of year determine how he fishes.
This time of year, we run a lot of floats with beads and jigs, and it's really effective this time of year. I will run plugs, run like a plug, run them out behind the boat and fish back trolling, they call it. I'll fish that method a lot of times. And a lot of times it's in what the water clarity is. If the water is dirtier and high, plugs are very effective. Right now the water's kind of clear, so the beads seem to, spawn, beads, jigs, all work good in this kind of waters, the way it is right now.
The beads and jigs were definitely working great today. We made our way upstream, hitting several different holes throughout the morning. And as we headed to the next hole, Trevor talked about center pin reels, why he likes using them, and how they can be a little challenging.
Well, a center pin's just a free spooling reel, so it's on just a single axle, and there's no drag, there's no nothing. It's your hands are the drag, and so it just goes through your hands, and that's about it. It started out as a hobby, and then I really got into it. Spent a lot of time in the wintertime just checking it out and working with it, and it just gives you the best drift out there. And for sometimes on the Manistee River, if you're going to do a little combat fishing at Tippy Dam, you got to have any little edge you can, and a center pin usually gives you that edge. They're very tricky to use. I wouldn't just go to a bait shop and buy one. It takes a long time to really figure it out and master it, but once you do, you'll never fish it with any other reel. It's just the way you like to do it.
Trevor has such a passion for river fishing and not only using a center pin reel, but making his own baits too. He says it started at an early age.
Just really got into just fishing. I fished my whole life. It's been a passion of mine, and I've always, did little things like tied your flies, and then I started making my own beads and making my own jigs. I can put stuff where it doesn't belong and it doesn't cost as much. Sometimes you snag up a little bit, but you just never know on the river. Sometimes you can't buy the colors. The big thing is just making your own and listening to other guys that are hitting fish on other colors. And so you can go out there and make them yourself. So very similar to walleye, how the walleye guys do it. You dip them in the simple powder paint. It's how everybody does them. But then I do an epoxy finish on them to make sure that there's kind of like a little shock absorber, per se, on the jig. So as you're running those against the rocks, your jig's there the whole day. You're not just running an unpainted jig at the end of the day. It is very rewarding to catch fish on your own stuff. My first time I ever caught a brook trout was on a fly that I tied. So that was huge for me. And then I obviously just kept on going from there. You start making your own jigs, and now I'm making my own beads, and it's come a long way. All right, here, lock it. Perfect.
I got the net.
All right. Ooh, got a little bit more fight in it. Perfect. Yeah, got it on pretty much an orange and chartreuse bead.
Today was shaping up nicely. We weren't the only boat on this stretch of the river today, but as Paul says, there are plenty of fish for everyone. He and many other local fishing guides share information and work together.
And there's certain guys I talk to on a daily basis and keep in touch with them, and kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in the river. Yeah, I know a lot of the guides. I've been doing it so long that most of the guys here I get along with them pretty good. And, one guy will be in a stretch of water, and I'll say, hey, I'll go down a mile and fish a different stretch. And so we try not to jump on each other as much. When you get a lot of boats, you can't get around it. You just fish wherever. But like today, we spread out. There was 3 or 4 guides in the river, and we kind of all spread out. It's been a good day fishing.
Nice job. How many does that make in the boat today?
8 or something, 8, 10 or something.
Nice job. Cool. What a fun day on the Manistee. We were talking about wrapping it up for the day, and the guys wanted to hit one more hole on the way back to the ramp. Sure enough, Matt tied into one, and being the awesome husband that he is, he insisted I reel it in. So after taking a moment to give a little camera lesson to Paul, I took over on the rod, and it was off to the races on a fun battle with this last fish of the day.
Jenny's got one on. He's right at the back there. Get right in the corner there. Move that rod.
Got a good footing here.
That's a feisty one. That's strong.
Yeah.
Look at that fish.
Brute.
Oh. Man, he's not ready. He's just taking out line. Can't make any headway on him.
Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes.
Got him?
Got him.
Awesome. Look at that fish. Nice
Nice.
work, babe. Holy moly. Look
Sorry.
at
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, he almost like a brown trout.
Look at this fish. He's gorgeous.
That's a beautiful
I gotta say, my husband Matt's the one that hooked him. He handed me the rod, and we had no idea this was going to be the biggest fish of the day. Can you?
Happy
all the way
Valentine's
down.
Day, babe.
Yeah, thanks. Go all the way down that fish. Look at this guy. Whew, you're recording too. I got 2 cameramen on the boat and a netter. Well, a not-so-graceful release was the end to an otherwise perfect day on the river. 2 of the 8 fish we boated today were missing their adipose fins. That's the fin to the right of Matt's thumb here on his fish. When a fish is reared in a hatchery, those fins are removed and a microchip tag is inserted in the head before they're released. If you do keep a fin-clipped fish, the DNR would like the head so they can gather vital information for our statewide fish planning program to keep on improving our great fishery here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Well, something pretty popular this time of year is pike spearing. Now, that is something we try to tape about every year. Some years we have success, some years we don't, because it's really hard to tape, really hard to do, but can be a lot of fun.
All right, we're down here on the Maple River on a friend of ours' property, generous enough to let us come down here and be able to do this today. We've got some friends over here, Bruce George and Doug George, and our kids. Bruce has been down here. He's kind of our guy that kind of got us into this. So happy to have Bruce here with us. And we're gonna try to do some spearing. The boys are gonna be in the tent together, and Doug and his dad will be in the other tent, and we'll kind of go back and forth. We're gonna have a bankside lunch today, some venison stew, and a great day to be on the river today.
After getting everything set up, we were ready to climb into the tents, hoping a few pike would swim by. But first, we had to see who was going to throw the spear.
Let's have three. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yes! Let's go.
Who gets it?
I get it. Like always.
Well, I started spearing down here in probably 1963. We always had pretty good luck. I think it was a couple foot deeper back then, and we always walked in from the gravel pit right there. I can see the hills. We walked in from that way, and we speared here, and we speared up above on up further towards the Muir, or towards Muir. We speared there a couple times, and of course we speared up on the Grand a number of times. Did real good up there. We see pike, mostly pike, carp, suckers, and a few walleyes. Yeah, the carp were, I don't think there was a carp here in the river that there was. We'd see carp all the time in the holes. But I know there's less carp here now than there was. We'd get pike. We usually took one or two and just enjoyed looking at them. That was more fun than spearing them. We got everything but fish.
Yep.
Yeah.
The first couple of hours were pretty slow, so we decided to break for lunch in hopes that the pike would be more active in the afternoon. When spearing, things can and often do happen fast, and not long after we climbed back in, our luck was about to change.
Yeah, there's something today that they're gone. I mean, they're up in the river. A lot of times you see sucker and carp, the pike are with them.
Okay.
I'd say anyway. I hope not, but.
Yep. Well, that's fishing, you know, and you just never know.
God.
When we were down to Weber Dam a couple weeks ago there.
He's coming back. You miss him?
Oh, nope, I got him. All right, here we go. Here we go. Pike on! Bruce George was running the decoy, the bait, and we had some guys drilling some holes over here for tip-ups, and pike come through and hit the decoy, and it came back through, and we were able to stick it with a spear. One down. Maybe the boys can get some action next over there.
They said that if Dad gets one, we're gonna know about it. He'll start hooting and hollering.
I run the decoy and there and did the work spearing it. Yeah, he come in and grabbed it, went on through, and I got him to come back. He had it right in his mouth. He took it down.
After putting our first pike on the ice, we had hoped things would pick up, but unfortunately that was not the case, and we ended our trip with just the one pike. But it was still a fun day on the hard water with good people, good food, and good weather here in southern Michigan.
It was a great day on the river today. We only had one pike down today, but can't go wrong on a sunny Sunday like this on the river. The pike came hard today, and that's why they call it fishing.
He's coming back.
Well, if you watch the show on a regular basis, you may remember about 3 weeks or so ago, we were doing some pike fishing on a lake in Mason County. We were trying to find some small pike to do a pickled pike recipe. Well, the guys finally got enough pike, got some that we can actually try, and then now we're going to show you the process of what it looks like to pickle pike. A few weeks back, I was on Crystal Lake in Mason County trying to get enough pike for a pickled pike recipe. Well, the boys finally found some fish, and I was back to learn how to pickle pike.
Over the past couple weeks, we've filled up a bucket of some fish. Here we have some bone-in pike that we have caught, and basically what we're doing here is pickling it, and the pickling dissolves all the bones so that when you eat it, you're not biting through a bunch of bones, and it's a good way to use all the fish because a lot of people like to throw away part of the pike, if not most of it. So in this bin here, we have a mixture of vinegar and salt and fish. And basically what we do is we take about 75 vinegar, 25 water, and we mix enough into this brine so that all the fish is completely covered. And once you cover the fish, we add salt to it. And for each quart of vinegar that you use, we do about 3/4 of a cup of canning salt. You mix it all up good, and you put it in the refrigerator for 5 days. After we've let the fish sit in the brine for 5 days, stirring it every day, we take it and we make a canning brine that we're going to put in the jars, and it's going to sit in that for another 5 to 7 days. We add some vegetables to that, and after it sits in the refrigerator for 5 days, it's ready to eat.
So once you rinse your fish, go ahead and get your sugar, spices, and vinegar to a boil for about 10 minutes. Then let that cool to room temperature, and while you wait, you can get your veggies cut up.
All right, so we're back here. We've got our brine. It's all cooled off. We brought a mixture of pickling spice, vinegar, and sugar to a boil. We let it boil for about 10 minutes, and then we put it in the snowbank, and now we have it back to a cooled temperature. And Adam's going to show you what we're doing next.
All right, so we have some sanitized, brand new jars, sanitized them, cleaned them up, and now we're just going to package it up. So our ratio has kind of been onion for the base, and then a little bit of fish, and then maybe a couple cloves of garlic, and then we have all these peppers, jalapenos, asparagus, because you got to have asparagus if you're going to pickle something. And you just fill your jars. You want them to be, near the top, and then we'll pour our brine in there and seal the jars off and put them in the fridge. And maybe a week.
Yeah.
A little longer, better.
We don't actually seal the jars. We just close them up and put them in the fridge. So they're not technically canned, so you have to keep them in the fridge after you complete this process.
Yep.
I have to say this fish was really good, and the veggies and peppers were outstanding. So if you get some small pike this year, you may want to keep a few to chunk up for pickled pike. For the full recipe, you can check out our website.
Thanks so much for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you stay tuned in upcoming weeks. We've got stories from the UP all the way down to Detroit, and we'll be videoing our Big Buck Nights, so those will be in upcoming episodes as well. If you'd like to see where we are and where we're headed next, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Online is a great way to kind of keep tabs on us. Of course, you can do that through our website. We have full episodes of the show there every week. We're also on most of the social media platforms if you want to see what we're doing on a more day-to-day basis. And we're also on YouTube, so you can subscribe to our channel there. Get an email every time we post something new. And there will be a lot of new stuff coming over the next several weeks. So if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by.
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
By Alta Equipment Company, providing sales, rentals, service, and parts because uptime matters. From earth moving to landscaping and light construction, Alta offers over 50 brands across 7 Michigan locations to serve you. More information online or 844-GO-2-ALTA. By Showspan, producing consumer shows including Outdoorama, February 24th through 27th at Novi's Suburban Collection Showplace. The show features tackle, trips, boats, outfitters, the trout pond, and of course, Big Buck Night. That's Outdoorama and Novi.
Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my homestay. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, East to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love